The scent of motor oil and metal shavings clung to my uniform as I pulled into the driveway. 12 hours at the shop, running on fumes, all I wanted was to see my pride and joy. A 1967 Camaro SS I'd spent 18 months resurrecting from a rusted shell into perfection. I hit the garage remote. The door groaned open to reveal chrome bright enough to blind you and a paint job so deep you could drown in it. That's when my world tilted. Someone call 911. He's stealing my car. Brenda Wilson, my HOA president and next-door neighbor, came storming toward me like a rabid pit bull, cell phone glued to her ear. Yes, there's a black man stealing my car right now. Send everyone. The wail of sirens already echoed in the distance. She'd called before even speaking to me. There I stood, in my own driveway, holding my own keys, looking at my own car, about to be arrested for stealing it. I'm Marcus. Third-generation mechanic. My grandfather taught my father taught me, and for 60 years we've kept this town running on 4 wheels. After my divorce last spring, my ex suddenly decided grease under fingernails wasn't sexy. I scraped together what I had left to buy a modest house in Willowbrook Estates. The realtor promised middle-class peace, perfect lawns, matching mailboxes, everyone minding their own business. The Camaro wasn't a midlife crisis buy. I found her at an estate sale, a rust-eaten corpse most would have sold for scrap. But I saw the American muscle waiting underneath. $3,200 later, she was mine. Every weekend for a year and a half I rebuilt her, new 350 small block, rebuilt turbo 400 transmission, full suspension overhaul. 4 months on the paint alone, sanding and priming until the hugger orange finish could blind low-flying aircraft. Every bolt and gasket photographed for insurance, every receipt tucked into a 3-ring binder thicker than a phone book. The smell of primer and shavings became my Saturday morning cologne. Coffee went cold on the workbench while I lost myself in the rhythm of mechanical perfection. Then came Brenda. 5 years in Willowbrook and she'd crowned herself queen. Real estate agent with a white BMW that gets detailed more than most people shower. Nails that never touched a tool, hair that defied gravity, and a smile colder than antifreeze. 3 years running as HOA president, unopposed, because no sane neighbor wanted the job. Her weapon of choice? Paperwork. Trash cans out 12 minutes too long. Fence posts a 1/4 inch too wide. Wrong mailbox font. She once cited me for grass allegedly 1/2 inch over the limit, showing up with an actual ruler. 2 weeks before the garage incident, she marched over mid-break bleed to complain about the industrial activity in my driveway. I quoted city ordinance. Hobby work allowed until 9 p.m. Her smile froze over. We'll see about that. The day it blew up began with her monthly pool party parade, neighborhood wives with mimosas, pretending to care about vacation photos. Through my garage walls I heard her voice slice the air. Oh, that's my new Camaro. Just bought it for $45,000. They're shipping it next week. My socket wrench hit the floor. She was showing photos of a Camaro identical to mine, basking in their approval like she'd invented the combustion engine. Later, when I returned from a brake fluid run, she stood in her driveway staring at my car with predator eyes. That night, she must have spent hours online convincing herself I'd somehow stolen her imaginary purchase. By morning, she'd morphed from annoying neighbor to dangerous accuser. 2 patrol cars screeched into my driveway, lights blazing. 4 officers piled out like they were hitting an armed robbery. Veteran Officer Rodriguez approached, calm but watchful, with Rookie Officer Morgan beside him. Evening, sir. We received a report about a stolen vehicle at this address. This is my car, I said, fighting the absurdity. At my house. That's like saying I stole my own fridge. Brenda materialized, knuckles white around her phone. That's him. I bought that exact Camaro yesterday for $45,000. I pulled up my restoration photos, rust bucket to rolling beauty, and my DMV registration with matching VIN. Rodriguez's brow lifted in appreciation. Brenda's proof turned out to be dealer stock photos, no VIN, no paperwork. When pressed, she claimed the paperwork was being processed. Then I dropped the hammer. A handwritten bill of sale from 93-year-old Eleanor Hutchinson, dated 18 months ago. Rodriguez examined it like treasure. "Ma'am, this man has clear ownership records. Yours are internet printouts. Filing a false report is a misdemeanor." Brenda's face drained. "There must be some mistake," she stammered, but her eyes told me this was far from over. Monday morning proved it. In my mailbox, an HOA violation, $200 fine for unauthorized commercial vehicle storage. My work van, a Ford Transit with Rodriguez Family Auto on the side, suddenly on her hit list. She didn't know the rule only applied to vehicles purchased after 2020. Mine was from 2017, legally grandfathered in. I spent lunch at the courthouse pulling proof, then delivered my rebuttal to the HOA office. The receptionist scanned my documentation, eyes widening. "Oh dear," she murmured, like she was watching a slow-motion car crash. "Mrs. Wilson is not going to like this." By Wednesday, my mailbox had turned into Brenda's personal complaint Dropbox. 3 fresh violation notices arrived like bad magic. Oil stains on my driveway, despite my monthly monk-like power washing. Automotive odors from my garage. Apparently the noble scent of W40 offended her delicate suburban palate. Noise violations during perfectly legal hours. She was carpet-bombing me with paperwork, hoping something would stick. That's when I made my smartest move of the entire war. Full surveillance. 4 high-definition security cameras, cloud storage, night vision sharp enough to catch a mosquito landing on my mailbox. The footage revealed Brenda's new hobby: daily fence patrols, iPhone in one hand, collapsible yardstick in the other. She turned neighbor watching into an Olympic event. Thursday evening, an emergency board meeting notice appeared in my mailbox at 4 p.m. for a 7 p.m. meeting. Barely legal. Impossible to prepare. I expected a sham trial, found something worse. 3 women sat around a conference table like they were planning a church bake sale. Brenda, grinning like she could preserve meat for winter. Clara, her jittery lieutenant. Janet, whose only skill seemed to be nodding at Brenda's every word. "This is quite sufficient for tonight's business," Brenda purred. "Effective immediately, we're banning all automotive repair. Past violations, $500 fines." I opened the HOA bylaws on my phone, the ones I'd memorized that afternoon. Section 4.3 requires 7 days notice for voting. Section 4.7, quorum of 5 members. I count 3. This meeting has the legal authority of a neighborhood book club. Clara went crimson. Brenda sputtered. I pressed the knife in deeper. Section 2.9, invalid meetings create personal liability for board members. Brenda's composure cracked. "You think you're so smart? Coming here with your people and your activities." "My people? I'm a homeowner who reads contracts." Novel concept. Friday morning, Dave Martinez from City Code Enforcement arrived. Clipboard, 1,000-yard stare. Anonymous complaint about unlicensed commercial auto repair. I let him into my spotless garage. Family mechanic business. Pure hobby. Weekends only. No customers. He ran a finger along my workbench, came up clean. "Honestly, this is cleaner than the shop I take my truck to." Off the record, he admitted, same voice, different complaints. 4 times this month. She needs a hobby. The insurance gambit. Next came Brenda's certified letter to my insurance company, fire hazard. My agent, Bill, arrived expecting a nightmare, left impressed. "Your fire safety setup beats commercial shops. Half your neighbors are running death traps." Progressive sent Brenda a cease and desist. Translation: one more false claim and you're facing fraud charges, Karen. The social media war. Brenda created the Willowbrook Neighborhood Watch Facebook group overnight. Her first post, photos of my van and garage, sugar-coated concern about activities more suited for industrial zones. Within an hour, 23 members. Tom showed me the screenshots. It's like a dumpster fire, you can't look away. Defenders rallied, others lurked. When she started deleting dissenting comments, the group fractured into open warfare. Sunday morning, 24 roofing nails scattered across my driveway. Cameras caught a hooded figure at 2 a.m., quick-stepping like someone late for an argument. Brenda's distinctive walk. Officer Morgan treated it seriously. Classic intimidation pattern. Document everything. Then came the anonymous letter. Your kind doesn't belong here. Leave or face consequences. Same paper, same printer as HOA notices. Detective Martinez called it what it was, a potential hate crime. Tom's coffee shop coalition grew to 6 households, each with their own Brenda horror story. Mailbox font fines. Flower planting violations. Individual complaints get ignored, Tom said. Group action gets results. The county courthouse basement smelled like bureaucratic despair. 3 hours of digging later, I found it, Brenda's personal embezzlement portfolio. $15,000 to BNB Property Solutions, her shell company. $8,500 to Brenda's Best Gardens, never planted a thing. $12,000 to Wilson and Associates, her ex-husband's law firm. Total, $78,000 siphoned into her own pocket. But there was a darker pattern. Cross-referencing complaint timelines with property sales revealed she was harassing owners into selling cheap, then flipping the homes for profit. 3 families in the last year. I was next on her list. Then came the sweetest find. Her own house was in foreclosure. $23,000 in unpaid HOA dues to her own association. For weeks until the hearing. Brenda wasn't just a petty tyrant. She was desperate, cornered, and 1 commission away from financial ruin. The Camaro fiasco gave her the perfect excuse to accelerate the plan. I fed the copier every last page of evidence, my hands trembling as the machine hummed along. $17 to document a criminal empire, money well spent. Walking back to my truck, I called Tom. You sitting down? Because what I just found changes everything. The war had just shifted from survival to offense, and Brenda didn't know the trap was already snapping shut. Tom's garage smelled like coffee, motor oil, and the faint sweetness of justice. Our ragtag crew gathered around a battered folding table. Tom had assembled the Avengers of HOA warfare. Sarah Morgan, forensic accountant, bloodhound for dirty books. Mike Patterson, semi-retired corporate lawyer who lived to destroy opponents in depositions. Linda Martinez, high school teacher, organizational skills sharper than a NASA launch schedule. Carlos Mendez, contractor who knew every building code loophole in 3 counties. Sarah spread Brenda's finances across the table like a CSI investigator. This embezzlement's got all the subtlety of a brick through a window. Mike scanned the pages, shark-eyed. 78 grand in fraud. Patterned harassment. Prosecutors dream of cases this clean. Linda mapped incidents to home sales in perfect color-coded detail. Targets vulnerable families, escalates violations, then bam, sells to her investors. Carlos whistled. And she's paying divorce lawyers with HOA money. Not criminal genius, criminal stupid. The battle plan. Operation Documentation Fortress. Carlos wired the neighborhood like Fort Knox. Cameras, sensors, cloud backup. If she even looks sideways at your mailbox, we'll have it in 4K. Operation Legal Annihilation. Mike explained board fiduciary duties like he was reciting poetry. Fraud meant personal liability. She's not just stealing, she's burning her own legal shield. Operation Public Humiliation. Linda prepared flyers, timelines, and social media blasts to turn Brenda's name into dinner table poison. Elections were perfectly timed. Tom, Sarah, and Mike would win the 3 open seats, flipping the board. The criminal complaint would be filed Tuesday. We'd play dumb. Let Brenda think she was winning while she generated her own evidence. Rope-a-dope, Mike called it. Let her swing wild and miss while we documented every blow. The calendar aligned beautifully. Foreclosure hearing in 3 weeks, audit in 2, elections in 4. Sarah had already looped in Channel 7's Bulldog reporter, Janet Mills. Mike found the kill shot. Brenda's real estate license renewal in 6 weeks required a clean record. Fraud conviction? Automatic lifetime ban. Tom looked at me before we broke for the day. 2 months ago, you were just the quiet mechanic. Now you're running a revolution. Sometimes bullies pick the wrong victim, I said. Monday morning, Brenda's voice cut across the street like a fire alarm. I need an emergency board meeting tonight. By noon, every mailbox held her desperate letter, $500 per household for legal defense against agitators. Tom had recorded her secret meeting from the parking lot. They're investigating our finance. We have to control the narrative. Mike's grin could have powered the streetlights. Wednesday night, she graduated to vandalism. My security cameras caught her skulking around at 2:47 a.m., planting fake evidence under my floodlight, clear shot of her face, license plate, and toolbox of petty crimes. Thursday morning, the code inspector found her motor oil props, price stickers still attached. "Ma'am, filing false environmental reports is a federal offense," he said, unimpressed. By Friday, Brenda was melting down on Facebook. Her 2 a.m. post dripped racism thinly disguised as protecting property values. Screenshot. Saved. Forwarded. Saturday, she tried bribing Carlos, $2,000 in cash to forget about the cameras. Recorded in full. Sunday night, she filed her 4th false police report in 2 weeks. Officer Morgan's patience was gone. "Ma'am, you're looking at charges." The collapse. Monday, Sarah's audit results came in, $96,000 stolen over 30 months. The petty dictator wasn't just broke, she was a career criminal. Tuesday, she staged a break-in at the HOA office. The security footage looked like a bad heist parody, shoving papers into a shredder until the silent alarm brought Officer Rodriguez. "Step away from the computer," he ordered. Brenda ranted about outsiders destroying everything I built as she was cuffed. Bail was $25,000. Might as well have been $25 million. She spent 3 days in county lockup. While she was gone, Clara made the decision that would end her reign for good. Clara visited the jail with a digital recorder hidden in her purse. What she captured was pure prosecutorial gold. "I need your help, Clara." Brenda's voice cracked through the phone speaker when Clara later played the audio for our coalition. Her desperation was thick enough to taste. "There's money in my garage, behind the water heater. We can both disappear before this gets worse." Clara hesitated. "Brenda, I can't. $50,000. Help me and we start over somewhere. They don't know us." Mike let out a low whistle. "That's theft, conspiracy, flight risk, and obstruction, all in one breath. She just confessed to everything from inside jail. Is she trying to set a record for criminal stupidity?" Thursday night, the turning point. The emergency neighborhood meeting overflowed the community center. The air buzzed with fury, and the kind of coffee strong enough to strip paint. 43 households showed up, and the collective anger could have powered Las Vegas for a week. Tom unveiled Sarah's final audit with the satisfaction of revealing a straight flush. The numbers were staggering. Brenda hadn't just stolen $78,000. She'd been running a 3-year scam, phantom vendors, padded contracts, kickback schemes, totaling $112,000. "Every family here has been systematically robbed," Tom said, to a mix of gasps and profanity creative enough to make sailors blush. "That's $2,800 per household." The vote of no confidence was unanimous, except for Janet, who abstained while looking like she'd rather tunnel to Canada. 33 households demanded immediate removal, prosecution, and full restitution with interest. Friday, the media storm. By morning, Brenda had the spotlight she'd always wanted, just not the role she imagined. News vans lined the street. Channel 7's Janet Mills beamed like she'd stumbled onto Emmy material. The evening news led with HOA president arrested in massive embezzlement scheme. They showed Brenda's mugshot alongside security footage of her document shredding performance art. "This isn't revenge," I told the camera, careful with my words. "It's about holding people accountable when they abuse trust." The story exploded online, trending nationally. Brenda's real estate license was suspended. Past clients piled on with complaints. Her career went nuclear, figuratively and socially. Saturday, rock bottom. At 3 a.m., Brenda posted a tearful Facebook video, mascara streaking like abstract art. She blamed everyone but herself. "I was just trying to protect the community," she sobbed. "Sometimes good people have to make hard decisions." The comments section lit up like a firing squad, neighbors unloading years of resentment. The video vanished within hours, but screenshots are forever. Her reign was over. Sentencing day, justice served. The courthouse overflowed with neighbors, over 40 of us, like it was the biggest game of the year. Brenda sat in an orange jumpsuit that clashed with her fake blonde highlights, looking like a balloon animal left out in the sun. When Judge Hernandez called for victim impact statements, I stood first. This started with a 911 call because I opened my own garage, I began. But it was never about a car, it was about power and how someone can terrorize neighbors without consequence. I spoke of theft, harassment, and fear. She didn't just steal money, she stole our peace of mind, our sense of community. Tom, Sarah, and Linda followed with their own testimonies. Then Brenda's turn came. Her lawyer blamed mental health, divorce, financial stress, everything but her choices. Brenda herself delivered crocodile tears. I was just maintaining standards, protecting property values. Leadership requires hard decisions. The collective eye roll was almost audible. Judge Hernandez's voice cut through. In 30 years, I've rarely seen such abuse of trust combined with racial harassment and intimidation. She listed Brenda's crimes, then delivered the sentence: 4 years in prison, $112,000 restitution, court costs, and 5 years probation. The gavel cracked like thunder. Applause erupted, different from normal applause. Deeper. More satisfying. Like the universe setting itself straight. 6 months later, a new community. Willowbrook Estates had changed. Saturday mornings smelled like barbecue instead of tension. Kids played without fear. The new HOA board, Tom as president, Sarah as treasurer, Mike as legal, ran on transparency and common sense. The community garden flourished. Property values climbed 15%. Restitution checks arrived monthly, Christmas in installments. Brenda's prison life was a far cry from her glory days. Prison laundry for 60 cents an hour, sharing a cell with an actual armed robber. A student documentary, Garage Door Justice. An American Story, won regional awards and went national. My appearance fees funded an automotive scholarship from Brenda's restitution. 3 students had already graduated. Sarah and I were quietly dating, bonded by battle scars. The Camaro that started it all had become a minor legend. People offered to buy it, but some symbols aren't for sale. Our case set a legal precedent cited in HOA fraud cases across 3 states. The Willowbrook Act passed, requiring annual audits for large HOAs. Neighborhood block parties were now monthly traditions. Kids from different families played while adults swapped recipes and repair tips. It felt like what suburbs were meant to be. I can hear Tom's mower outside and smell Linda's baking drifting through my garage. That's the sound of a healthy community, people choosing to help each other instead of tear each other down. Document everything. Build community. Truth wins. Those 6 words had gone viral, but here, they'd become a way of life. From all of us here at HOA Stories, thanks so much for watching today's HOA Karen Meltdown. If you enjoyed seeing neighbors stand their ground and karma catch up, smash that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you won't miss the next HOA drama we bring you.